Hey everyone! Today we will speak about that time that Brabham showed up with a car that had a fan on it. Do you remember it? And did you know that this car raced once, won, and then was never seen again? Back in 1978, Lotus dominated Formula One with their revolutionary ground effect Lotus 79. Mario Andretti took the championship in this thing, and teammate Ronnie Peterson took 6 victories in it as well. Brabham, on the other hand, were a little bit stuck. Their flat 12-cylinder engine was just a bit too wide to really fit in the newfangled Venturi tunnels that were all the rage at the time. Now, their solution was pretty simple. They would just make their own tunnels. How do you do that? By sucking air from underneath the car. Simple enough, but how did they suck air from underneath the car? With a giant fan, obviously. Now, the idea was the brainchild of Brabham's chief engineer, Gordon Murray, who was also responsible for designing the iconic McLaren MP41 that would go on to dominate F1 in the late 1980s. And although this design was created by Murray, it was actually built by his assistant, Frank Durney, who would later design the iconic 1992-93 Williams FW15C, one of my favorite F1 cars of all time. But I digress. Back to the fan car. The plan was to mount a large rear-mounted fan to the back of the car which would pull air from underneath the floor and out through these ducts here, which coincidentally would also double as the car's airbox. Air flowing out of these ducts would generate downforce, thus giving the car more grip. That sounds pretty neat, but why did they need this in the first place? Why couldn't they just have used wings like every other team? The problem is that the flat 12 engine that powered the Brabham designed by Alfa Romeo. The engine was just a bit too wide to fit inside the narrow confines of the current F1 technical regulations. Back then, each team could run whatever engine they wanted provided it was road-based and naturally aspirated. So Brabham ran with the big V12 from Alfa Romeo. And while this engine put out a frankly absurd 620 horsepower in its final form, it was just a bit too wide to fit into the aforementioned Venturi tunnels, which is why they sucked air out of the floor instead. But wait a minute. If the fan was just for cooling, why didn't they just make the cooling ducts stick out of the side of the car or something? Well, because those ducts would be on the outside of the car, and therefore they would generate lift instead of downforce, meaning that the car would go slower. Also, there was no way they were going to get that engine to fit into the regulations if they didn't try something crazy like this. So they whipped up this contraption, the BT46B, which featured a giant fan mounted to the rear of the car that would pull air from underneath the floor and expel it out the back. They claimed that the fan was there purely for engine cooling and that it was simply a byproduct of the system that it generated downforce. That seems pretty plausible, right? I mean, it does look like it would generate downforce. Well, yes, but other teams weren't buying it. As soon as they saw Brabham testing this new car, they started to protest, claiming that this contraption was not only an illegal aerodynamic device, but an illegal weapon. Now, Brabham weren't stupid. They knew exactly what this fan would do when they built it, but they claimed that it was for cooling and nothing else. And when the Swedish Grand Prix rolled around in 1978, where the BT46B was debuted, they pulled off one of the greatest bluffs in Formula One history. They got away with it too. The BT46B debuted at the hands of Niki Lauda, who absolutely destroyed the field by over 30 seconds, making the fan car look easy. In fact, it was so easy that after the race, when the FIA scrutineers went to check the car, they found everything in order. The Brabham BT46B was a masterpiece of Formula One engineering, and it won its only race convincingly. But the other teams were still furious. They protested the result. They complained to the FIA and they demanded that the Brabham be disqualified. However, the FIA never officially banned the car. They decided that the rules didn't say anything about a fan being illegal, so they wouldn't ban it. And by the time they figured out a way to ban it, it was too late. Bernie Ecclestone, who owned Brabham at the time, was becoming a rising power broker in Formula One, and he knew that all of this talk of banning the fan car was getting a bit ugly. So, to calm everyone down, he pulled the car before anyone got hurt. This might seem like a cop-out, but remember that the FIA never officially said that the car was illegal. So this may have been Brabham's BT-46B last race, but they went out on top, and that is some real style. This is the story of the Brabham BT-46B, aka the fan car. It may have only raced once, but it left an indelible mark on Formula One history, and it proved that even the most heavily regulated sport in the world can be beaten if you're clever enough. If you enjoyed this video, smash the like button and please subscribe to the channel. We will have more videos to come on the most famous stories, legendary rivalries, shocking controversies, and mysterious moments in F1 history. There should be a playlist somewhere on the screen. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.